are back from lunch, and next speaker we have Mauro Eldritch. He's a hacker, he's a speaker and a founder of BCA and DC5411. And he has a co-speaker as well, Lois Angel, and they are talking about BumpKey, a red team Swiss knife. So over to them.
Thank you.
Welcome to our talk, BumpKey, a hardware Swiss knife for red teamers, by Mauro Eldritch and Luis Ramirez from DC5411. Before we start, I would like to give a brief introduction on this talk and introduce ourselves, the speakers. My name is Mauro Eldritch. I'm the founder of BCA and DC5411, Uruguay and Argentina. I spoke at many conferences around the world, including the USA, Russia, Brazil, Colombia, Iran, India, United Kingdom, Spain, and Pakistan, among other places. Now my partner Luis Angel Ramírez is going to introduce himself.
Thank you, Mauro. Hi.
Welcome to our talk, BumpKey, a hardware Swiss knife for red teamers, by Mauro Eldritch and Luis Ramirez from DC5411. Before we start, I would like to give a brief introduction on this talk and introduce ourselves, the speakers. My name is Mauro Eldritch. I'm the founder of BCA and DC5411, Uruguay and Argentina. I spoke at many conferences around the world, including the USA, Russia, Brazil, Colombia, Iran, India, United Kingdom, Spain, and Pakistan, among other places. Now my partner Luis Angel Ramírez is going to introduce himself.
Thank you, Mauro. Hi, my name is Luis Angel Ramírez Mendoza. I am from Colombia. I'm an electronic engineer working at the Birmingham Cyber Art and member of DC5411. I've been a speaker in DEVFEST Red Team Hardware Hacking Village, beside Newcastle, Yacon, India, beside Islam, Pakistan, DragonJAR Colombia, GrayHat USA, and Honeycomb, España.
So, the point of this talk is to explain bad USB attacks in a different way, stepping aside from the classical bad USB stick approach, the pen drive or USB stick that it's classically used to depict this kind of attacks. In this case, we will explain this type of attack using one of our evil creations, a hardware framework for bad USB plus attacks. Now you may say, what is bad USB plus? So we labeled this framework as bad USB plus because, as I said before, we are trying to differentiate ourselves from the classical bad USB sticks. These attacks are started via bad USB, via USB connection, and are escalated or propagated via remote protocols such as Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, or even GSM. This is phone calls, phone signal, or SMS. As you may see in this picture, this will be the framework that we will be presenting today. It looks simple, or rather simple and small. Well, you shouldn't take any chances with this, and we'll show you why during this talk. Now, let's talk about the plan. How did we get here? Our plan was to create a device capable of acting like a persistent, remotely managed bad USB. This will obviously render any bad USB stick useless, because this device has to be persistent, has to be able to keep the gate open for ourselves, and should be able to be remotely managed. It should remain simple and small, and be able to be disguised as multiple domestic USB devices with ease, changing only its external cover or attaching it to a functioning host device. As you have seen in the picture before, this device was naked, it has no cover. This is intended since we intend to camouflage it in various domestic devices, and we will speak about this particular point in a while. Also, this final product must be able to run a Metasploit payload, giving the attacker full access. This product must also alert the attacker on success. This product must be able to say, "Hey attacker, I'm already live. What shall I do?" in a remote way. This plan was enriched as new changes were introduced. So this led to the creation of a framework rather than a one-use tool with different access points and features inside this unique device. We will explain each one of them in detail. Now the interesting part. My partner Luis is going to explain the blueprints. This is how to build this kind of machine. So you can let your imagination fly and try to make your own or even improve this existing. So now Luis, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mauro. List of material: Arduino Micro, SYN800 BCA module, AEC Sirius C Bluetooth module, ESP8266 Wi-Fi module, lithium battery, and SIM card, relay, PCB, patient, loss of patient. Here we can see the PSB recently finishing and ready to be used. On the left you can see the PSB allowed without soldering. On the right you can see the PSB finishing. All TPs are small and the device fits perfectly inside the almost a 9 tab of fake keyboard. Modem, external drive, speaker, power bank. All components are cheap and easy to acquire. This device can be attached to domestic hardware as the reviews say above. In that case, it will add virtually no weight to the host hardware. In the picture, we can see the diagram. This bow USB switch allows you to send and payload to the computer. After connected to the USB, this board has 3 activation methods: GCN, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and has your mouse training at attack and can be disguised on many domestic devices as mentioned before. This method generates an URL that is going to be used to attack the victim. The ESP8266 is used and launched the Arduino as a server to provide an attack vantage point. You can ship this CSU URL via different methods or discover it using Nmap. So, DSSID and the password can be hard-coded to user and personal IP and telephone or the attacker machine. As you can see, this method here uses the if, where or control and the attack panel is used. Here we can see BumpKey with GUI. BumpKey features a web interface for easier exploitation of the target. It serves by connecting to it on Wi-Fi hotspot. This method can be activated using a call or an SMS depending on how you want to proceed. Here, the Arduino allows with the GNS module send a text message to the attacker, indicating that the device has been connected and it waiting to be activated. Now, This device amplifies the attacker's surface distance. Example of alert SMS received by the attacker. Tigo informs you that the user is now available. Device connected successfully. As you can see here is the code to activate the payload, which consists in invoking PowerShell and download and activate the malware from and command and control server. This configuration allows you to use payload without having to recompiling or bend the Arduino again. Now, all config have their advantages and disadvantages. It depends on what you want to do. As you can see here, this is the mobile application which you can use to pair your phone with the device to activate it. We have two different methods. The one on the left side sends the payload loaded in the Arduino. The one on the right sends custom payload. BumpKey also accepts your on-the-fly custom payload without having to burn the Arduino once again. Payload can be a with and simple that on your phone, even custom ones. Summary. This is what we are able to do so far. Wi-Fi, abound and service allows on-the-fly payload. Telephone call generate payload online. SMS allows on-the-fly payloads. Bluetooth Plus APK allows on-the-fly payload. All of the above have multi-platform support.
Okay, thanks, Luis. Now your package is ready. Let's see a summary of everything that you can find out of the box upon unboxing this little device. First of all, I want you to see something that a lot of people ask, is what is its real size? Its real size in comparison with a laptop can be seen here. This device is intentionally small enough to fit inside almost any domestic hardware device with ease, or to be concealed with a fake cover to simulate being another item. Yet it is powerful enough to be afraid of, believe me. Let's see the next picture so you can get a better idea. This is a portable DVD player and recorder. On top of it, you can find our BumpKey. As you may see, this is really small and really easily concealed inside almost any kind of domestic hardware. Just let your imagination fly, as I said before. As you might have seen on our previous talk, and if you weren't able to see them, we invite you and encourage you to check them. We were able to weaponize a lot of domestic items such as power banks, USB speakers, keyboards, and a bunch more. Some of them can be more complex than others, but definitely you can weaponize almost anything at hand. Some fun facts for weaponizing domestic hardware, which is one of the things that is one of our preferred topics at our DC. We have two fun facts here. First, our only limit is the available empty space that any device has inside. So keep it simple stupid or keep it minimalist stupid. The more simple you keep it, the easier it will be to be concealed inside another device or to be faked into something else. And taking this previous point as a starting point, it is possible to weaponize any home device. Just with enough imagination, again, let your imagination fly, and with enough minimalistic view, you can weaponize even the smallest and simplest device out there. So, a summary, what can this little small evil thing do? It can act as a remotely activated bad USB, as a HID, as a human interface device. It can use SMS, cellular network, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth for command and control. You can raise a web interface for ease of access via Wi-Fi. It can be controlled from an Android APK via Bluetooth. You can run any bundled or hot custom payload. You can choose between Metasploit or Metasploit compatible ones, or a custom payload without having to burn the Arduino again. You can run it on the fly. And also, this little bug can survive for long hours without power thanks to its battery. Now it's time to see one of the most interesting parts of this talk, the demonstration videos. I'm pretty sure that you will like them, and we'll explain all of the protocols that we use on this device. We'll use the classic Metasploit reverse shell TCP payload, so you can see this in a lab environment where the attack will always succeed. So I hope you enjoy it. Okay, first demo. Here we'll use the Bluetooth activation method. Pay attention, this is the victim machine with the BumpKey connected. We'll use our own APK, formerly known as Phalanx Stack. It was a leftover project. So now we're connected via Bluetooth, and we're going to send a common payload. Hello world, this time in Spanish, hola mundo in this case. This will raise a notepad and write a specific message. Nothing from another world. But in this case, we can edit this payload in HAT. So on the fly, we can change the script nature and start typing in like if we were directly connecting a keyboard. In this case, you don't have to burn the Arduino once again. We only use this on the fly. As you may see, we're changing the payload. We use it on the fly in HOT. And this is the final result. You can manipulate BumpKey as if it were a Bluetooth keyboard without too much effort. This poses a greater danger since you don't have to tailor a specific exploit and study your target and hope that your exploit will be effective. You can do trial and error directly, again on the fly. Imagine the possibilities that you might have by not having to try and burn over and over your script or your payload on the Arduino. Now we'll build a reverse TCP, a classic Metasploit payload. Now it should start. There will be obvious prompts on the screen, but this can be automated in different ways too. Let's go to the next one. Here we'll show the Wi-Fi case, the Wi-Fi connection. and obviously the web interface. As you may see, we have added a new laptop here, which will be the attacker, running a Metasploit handler. We'll use Nmap to search where, exactly on what address, our BumpKey is listening. Once you find that address, which BumpKey will promptly mark with a specific banner, you will be greeted by this simple but totally minimalist and direct web interface. You can choose your platform, Windows, Linux, and launch your attack via Wi-Fi. How this is done? Well, you will be sending your payload to BumpKey via Wi-Fi, and it will act via the Arduino as a keyboard typing. That's it. Simple, fast, and pretty minimalist, if you ask me. Now, using Wi-Fi doesn't let you, let's say, block it to using only Wi-Fi. You can choose any method and change it over the time. There's no need to do anything. You don't have to reboot. You don't have to change any configuration file, anything. If you try one method and it doesn't work, you can easily change to another one. So this is why we call it BumpKey. You will, in the end, you will end up opening that locked door. You only need to try and try and try, over and over. For example, here Luis is sending the payload via Metasploit, but you can also do it via point and click on the web interface. As you might see, the reverse handler has started and now will take over control of the infected machine. Obviously, this is a valid declaration, a valid clarification. You won't use this device naked. You will obviously fit into any kind of cover. I imagine the possibilities if you have a 3D printer, for instance, in which you can easily conceal this inside anything, really anything. So, okay, let's go to the last one and my personal favorite, GCM. We always add this kind of activation method in our devices, always. We are really fans of this little GSM chip, the SIM800L. This is simple. We connect it and we say, okay, we'll have to engage in communication with our BumpKey. You might ask, how? Well, BumpKey will reach to us first and tell us, hey boss, I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to attack. Then, once we get this message from BumpKey, we'll call him. You see, this is the message. And it will say the following: device is connected successfully. Now, this means that the device is powered up and that we can call it. We'll call it, we'll wait for a couple of seconds and until we are left in the voicemail. Once we are left in the voicemail, this will trigger a specific piece of code that will check the number from which we are being called, from which the BumpKey is being called. If the number is the same as the one whitelisted, it will start a reverse show. If something is messed up somehow, the phone is not ringing, the phone is not connecting, we can reach it via SMS. SMS, even if you had bad coverage, bad signal, it's pretty much able to get there and to help us on bringing back this reverse show. So you can rely on both methods. Call, which is faster but sometimes may fail, or SMS, which sometimes may be slower, but you can circumvent certain bad circumstances, like poor signal, as I said before. Give it a couple of seconds. As you may see, there are lots of pieces and devices involved in this hack. But again, let your imagination fly. If you had a 3D printer now, what kind of cover would you prefer to print for this device? Think about it. I'm all in for small routers, or hard drives, or even power banks. And this is the GSM method, my favorite one. Now, I have a last video, a bonus track, if we might say, of the on-the-fly method. A lot of people was curious about how we are using it. Well, we are using a really strange programming practice, and a polemic one, which is executing, obviously without sanitizing in this case, because you will be the trusted user, executing whatever the user types to BumpKey. This is the way we take care of on-the-fly exploiting. Using the BumpKey APK, the one that I said before was formerly known as Phalanx Dock, you will have a really intuitive and straightforward interface. You will have a couple of buttons for Windows and for Linux, so you can miss the target. If one doesn't work, you can try with the other one, but you can even try your custom payload, your custom approach, and you will have a really high rate of success if you are connected. Okay, give it a couple of seconds. And done once again. Now, you may say something that could be pretty fair. You can say something like, okay, Mauro, okay, Luis, who's going to connect such a device via USB? That's a pretty good question. I encourage you guys to check our previous talks on how we convinced people on connecting our devices. We resort to all kinds of social engineering, like shipping keyboards with t-shirts and stickers, faking or pretending to be a manufacturer. We have even left abandoned boxes with apparently brand new items to people to pick up and connect it on their homes or on their office. So again, you can only resort to letting your imagination fly on this. Okay, I hope you really enjoyed these videos as we enjoyed making them, but it's time to say goodbye, sadly. These are our conclusions, and we'll jump to question and answers.